Many of us leave our native countries for various reasons. Very often those who choose to stay in their adoptive countries send money to assist their families, but some give back to their communities. Africa 54's Esther Githui-Ewart is in the studio to tell us more. Esther.
Yes, Vincent, the story of Professor Christiana Okechukwu of Nigeria is one of compassion and love for her community. And as the saying goes, if you educate one, you educate the village. Professor Christiana Okechukwu teaches at Montgomery College in the U.S. state of Maryland. She is a Nigerian working in the U.S., but whose heart is in her native country. She runs the Inwele Center in Enugu to help young girls who leave school without marketable skills. But what motivated her to start the center?
I felt that if I empower one of them, it becomes a multiplier effect. If it's within a family, that family will now start learning from one of them. Like the girl that's now a chemical engineer. She's been able to influence her other sisters to also toe the line and go to school.
Widowed early, she was left with 3 young children whose future she often worried about. She hoped if anything happened to her, others would step up and give her children an education. That worry was her wake-up call, which started the ball rolling.
When you have gotten your own skill, so that one, they are not forced to get into marriage just too early and face violence against women. And I will tell you, the girls that started it, some of them now are chemical engineers.
At the Inwele Center, her focus has been on young girls, but young men are also showing up asking for training. She now holds what she calls yearly boot camps that last a month, where young people learn various skills that transform their lives.
We teach them horticulture, we teach them folk tales, it's an intensive 1 month. They go through that 1 month, they're never the same again.
Okechukwu has a piece of advice for Africans living overseas who very often send money through MoneyGram or Western Union to their families back home.
There's a material things that we fade. Any clothes you buy this year, by next 2 years, it's out of fashion. But then if you help these children to have education, then they will be able to buy their own clothes.
Professor Okechukwu has also written several books and refers to her Inwele Center as Little America, that she has taken back to the village in Nigeria, where time is utilized the way it should and where teachers and students are held accountable.
If you help these children to have education, even an armed robber cannot take it from your brain.
And through the Inwele Center, Professor Okechukwu is building her community in her birth country of Nigeria and wants other Africans living abroad to make a difference by giving back as well. Professor Okechukwu had many success stories of young men and women whose lives have been transformed by the skills they get from her Inwele Education and Resource Center in Enugu, Nigeria. I like how she sums it up. If you have education, even an armed robber cannot steal it from your brain, Vincent.
Yeah, that's powerful. And do you notice, Esther, that I think as you've lived around here for years, many of those who live here find different ways, rather, different forums to help people back home.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. And it's happening everywhere in the diaspora, whether you are from one country of Kenya, of Africa to another one.
Yeah.
You still give back in a way, not just to your own family, but to the community. It's just difficult to be able to zero in on everybody who is doing something and tell their story. But that is, one great success story that Professor Okechukwu, has set an example. And Nigerians here and many in the diaspora are saying we don't need a lot of money to be able to do something for the society.
Sometimes, you're doing something yourself, or sometimes you're contributing to some initiative or giving to somebody who's already doing something on the ground. And it's fabulous. I think we need to commend everybody, right?
Absolutely.
Thank you very much, Esther.
Sure.